Dave Free had a moment. He asked me, he said, he said, what are you getting from this? He says, is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while. But the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting.
Now that boy DJ Akademiks said he went to the Detroit show of Kendrick and SZA last night, and he said Dave Free and a couple of Kendrick's people confronted him. Let's check this out. You better like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
We talked a little bit about the lawsuit. I got a little bit of clarity, at least his perspective on it. And, because the first thing he said to me, he said, why you put that boy on your stream? He got me in Drake's case. And I said, dog, I've put people on stream that accuse Drake of whatever. You see, that's the thing that, I stand full steadfast on that. I put somebody on my stream named Julian. He said Drake scammed him of millions of dollars. Then you had the K-bots who said Drake killed him. That didn't help Drake. But what am I? I'm a media outlet. So I was telling him, fair is fair. I was like, listen, the person who introduced me to the person who said that you paid for bought streams, I said he's friends of, and I'm gonna redact names here. He's friends of people that y'all know, not friends of Drake. Because I don't know if y'all think he like planted him there. Then, and this is the last time I said, I'm probably gonna get off. Dave Free had a moment. He asked me, he said, he said, what are you getting from this? He says, is he paying you? And that was the most insulting thing and I had conversations with these men for a while. But the very idea that I was like a purchasable commodity was so disgusting. I reminded him, I said, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been doing this for over 15 years. How did you think I became me? I said, you knew about me before this shit. How did you think I became? Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought? That was the most insulting thing I could have heard, because his idea was, well, if you're not getting paid by this guy, if Drake ain't paying you, why do you lean that much in that direction? And I was like, huh? I've never gotten paid. Like, the people who I've defended the most, I've never gotten paid from. Now I have my platform benefit, yeah, of course. But again, like, we don't do pay for play. Like, you can't buy my opinion. I've always said, the moment you could buy my opinion, I don't matter. The moment you could buy my opinion, I don't matter. Y'all seen Lil Baby was one of my favorite artists. He was my top 3 artists. The nigga dissed me on his album, and I just had to do it. I went on a whole campaign against him. I didn't want to do that. But that's integrity. That's morals. I was getting money with QC. I could have said, well, fuck that. The money's too good. Fuck no. So, that was something that I was a little taken aback by, because I couldn't believe it. And I think Dave Free's a very intelligent guy. I couldn't believe he thought that I was getting paid to maybe have the opinions or the POV that I have. Like, I could be a pawn for Drake or anybody else. That just wouldn't happen. Nevertheless, there was some good conversations. I've gotten, I got Anthony's contact, and hopefully, I told him, I said, listen, throughout the battle, we probably definitely came off very biased, not only because I like Drake and he's my favorite rapper. And anytime my favorite rapper is going against another person, if he's my favorite rapper, I'm going to say my favorite rapper is going to win. But you guys lost communications with us at that time, because again, whether I preferred Drake or not, if you choose to not clear anything up, like today we're talking, they mentioned a few things I didn't know. But when you choose not to involve yourself in clarifying the narrative gets written without you. It always happens like that. I'm in the media. I know how it goes. So, hopefully, my stance don't change. Drake's my favorite rapper. It won't change ever. Okay, even if me and Drake beefing, well, depending on what beef. Because when I hate a nigga, I really hate a nigga. But yeah, there's no money that somebody could pay me to like make somebody else my favorite rapper. And I hope y'all know that. I'm just a person who like Drake. And his music. That's what I mean. His music. And me and Dave Free, that was our first conversation since pretty much 2022, I think. And, at the end of the day, positive vibes. Clearly, they have a POV. I got a different POV. Most of all, I think the conversation was, they were trying to see like, yo, are we into it or are we? And I'm like, nigga, at the end of the day, I'm doing my job here. You get what I'm saying? My opinion is going to lean a certain way because y'all know what type of music I like. But, one thing I did agree with them with, some of this shit should de-escalate. And, whether it's fan influenced or whoever else has connected to it, if it's possible, especially when it brings in third parties and family or shit like that shit, there's no place for that. Not shit that I'm necessarily doing, because I don't give two fucks about, talking about that. But at the end of the day, I think there were respectful conversations. I think they understand my POV. Yeah, brother, at the end of the day, Drake my favorite artist. Like, my nigga, like, what do you I don't care if I show up here today or tomorrow, the next day. Cool. Now, I understand their POV too. Bro, at the end, cool. You could kind of fall over that type of side when it comes to your music opinions. But, man, that battle been over, man. We not trying to keep digging holes where now people are, people that ain't public with it. So, we talking about like families, and don't bring families and shit into it. So, other than that, good conversations, good concert. I enjoy myself. Definitely enjoy myself.
All right, so Dave Free said, is Drake paying you for your opinions? And here's the thing. I understand Ak being taken aback by somebody like Dave Free saying that, because I think Ak is coming from the standpoint of, you're in the industry, you know how these things work. You can't tell me you think Drake is paying me just because I seem to be complimentary of him during this beef. But I think that's also the reason why he thought you was getting paid by Drake, because everybody in the industry knows everybody's paying for this or that. Just like Drake dropped his new fragrance. It's a lot of people on TikTok who are getting paid to review that fragrance. I know. I've seen some things. So yeah, people do get paid for their opinions. Now, is Akademiks rich enough to say, I don't need Drake's money? Sure. And maybe this conversation between Kendrick's team and DJ Akademiks will help them form some type of bridge so that information can flow back and forth. So when there's a narrative that they feel isn't true, or they feel like it's being pushed by Drake, well, now you can reach out to Akademiks just like Drake did. And I think that's another part about this beef a lot of the fans don't realize. A lot of other celebrities, they feel like they're too good to speak to somebody like Akademiks. And I know all of the K-bots in here, y'all hate when anybody gives Drake any type of credit or compliment, but Drake has always been more willing to do the work when it comes to being a superstar than somebody like Kendrick. Drake has always been more willing to communicate with the media, to communicate with streamers. I saw somebody in my comments the other day said, oh yeah, Kendrick destroyed Drake so bad he chasing streamers. I said, yo, Drake has been a part of the streaming community for years, way before the beef. But now you're paying attention to Drake and everything he does since the beef. So you making up false narratives. No, Drake has always been touching the, regular people in the industry. He's not just smoozing and partying with rappers and other celebrities. No, he's talking to media guys, streamers, and all of that. That's why they have so much respect for Drake. And that's why you saw people like Casanat not necessarily taking a side during the beef. They just gave commentary. They didn't trash Drake too much because he's formed relationships with all of these people. That's why you saw Drake at Streamer University. So he's been doing that. And that's the part that a lot of Kendrick fans don't hold Kendrick accountable for. He only likes to, kiss up to the white people when it comes to the Grammys, because that's what you got to do to win Grammys. A lot of y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know anything about the industry. You have to go on a Grammy tour. You got to suck up to these old white people. You got to be nice to them, go out to dinner with them, be cool with them. That's how you win Grammys, if y'all don't know that. This is not me making that up. So Kendrick is willing to do stuff like that for that audience or for that accolade, but he hasn't been willing to do it in hip hop. He doesn't do interviews with the culture. He doesn't reach out to those type of people. But y'all love his music so much and y'all say he's this and that's cool. And I love his music too. I'm just looking at it from somebody who knows the business. I'm not a casual fan on the internet typing stuff up thinking I know something. And that's where I kind of like to point where Akademiks brought up the fact that he's had people on his stream who question things about Drake or accuse Drake of certain things. And I've done the same thing on my channel. I've went harder for Kendrick than Drake on this channel. But if I say anything complimentary of Drake, you got people who I feel like I see in the comments a lot. They'll just turn on me and act like I'm some kind of Drake bot or I'm being paid too. And spamming compromised in my comments. When I've had people on this channel accusing Drake of horrendous things, okay? And y'all don't never keep it real because some of y'all act like robots and they supposed to agree with everything somebody does, because if you disagree with one thing, that means you don't like them. That means you're not a fan. That means, you don't have no respect for him. And that's not what my job is. That's not what people like DJ Akademiks' job is. And here's the guy who y'all say hate Kendrick so much, but he's interrupting a conversation to listen to Euphoria. He's paying money to leave his city and go to another city just to see this concert. And I'm being honest with you, Akademiks is not going to make a whole bunch of money just because he went to this concert and he gave a review. This is not going to be the biggest video for Akademiks. This is not going to be something that's going to make him $1 million just because he went to see Kendrick. I think he went to see the show because he does like some of Kendrick's music. And that's really hard for a lot of y'all to understand, because some people get on this mic and they are true to themselves and they give their opinions. But I know a lot of y'all just like to listen to people who agree with everything you think. And y'all are not smart enough to realize those people are saying everything you think just to make money off of you. Because it's easy to read Twitter and be like, oh, this is what people want to hear. This is the majority of the audience. This is what this group of people are saying. And then get on YouTube and just repeat everything you saw on Instagram and Twitter, and then get a bunch of subscribers and a bunch of views. And people do it all the time. But when you somebody who keep it fair and you kind of balanced and you speak to both sides, it's harder for you. But at the end of the day, I do think it's fair if Kendrick team thought that maybe Drake could have been paying Akademiks for his opinion. I think that's totally fair, and I think that's something Ak has to embrace and say, yeah, that's a possibility. People thought the same thing when he was working with 6ix9ine. And he was making money off of 6ix9ine. It just probably wasn't in the way that most people thought, which was like straight up payola. But he was making money off the YouTube videos, the streams, just basically doing what he does right now. Like he's making money off of Diddy while doing the trial. Now, I want to know what y'all thought about the conversation about it felt like cop and please. Like, oh, the beef is not that serious. This is what Kendrick's team is saying to Akademiks. The beef not that serious. We need to calm it down. We need to de-escalate things. We shouldn't be bringing in third parties. Da da da. They're saying this to Akademiks. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, well, what is the top guy thinking? What is Kendrick thinking? He's at the BET Awards snubbing Drewski because he's quote unquote cool with Drake. And that went viral. So on one hand, Kendrick's team is saying, oh, you know, it ain't that serious. We need to calm it down. But Kendrick at the BET Awards dissing people who are cool with Drake. So is it just Kendrick's team want to end the beef for business, but Kendrick is like, F Drake for life? I don't know. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.